Is Jon Jones underestimating Ciryl Gane? That is the question that I'm putting to you today. I'm not saying that he is, but there's a potential that Jon Jones is underestimating him because, listen, let's be honest. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Jon Jones is one of the greatest of all time, and he's had an absolutely unbelievable career. Now, he's fighting for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. He's going up against a French kickboxer, a heavyweight, a former interim heavyweight champion of the world, a man with an 11-1 record, and a man with the only person to beat him was Francis Ngannou. And that is why I ask, is Jon Jones underestimating him? Because Jon Jones, very active on Twitter. If you ever talk about who the GOAT is, Jon Jones will pipe up. If you talk about Khabib, GSP, Anderson Silva, he jumps on there straight away and he's like, whoa. You must have forgotten about my resume. Anyway, he was on Twitter just recently, a couple of days ago, 21 hours ago, in fact, and he said, man, I just finished watching my fight with Thiago Santos. I think it's crazy that you guys consider Gane the most technical kickboxer that I've ever faced. Everything that Thiago did had bad intentions on it. Dude had lightning speed, power, explosiveness, crazy versatility. So right now he's thinking that Thiago Santos is a more dangerous kickboxer than Ciryl Gane. And listen, Thiago Santos is definitely a phenomenal force of nature. He's a tremendous kickboxer and he had an amazing run in the UFC. But is he as dangerous as Ciryl Gane? I say the answer to that is no. I don't think that he is. But of course, when you're going into a fight, you want to big up your former opponents. Anyone that you beat, you always in your mind, you're like, they were really good. Because by doing that reinforces to yourself how good you really are. So, he's diminishing his opponent. And that's what you got to do when you're going into a fight. You got to diminish them in your own mind. You can't look at them as this god, this master. You can't put them on a pedestal. You have to look at them as a human being and try and strip them down because you want to go into a fight confident. But you've also got to go into a fight realistic. Is he being realistic that Thiago Santos is a more devastating striker / kickboxer than Ciryl Gane? I don't think so. When you look at Ciryl Gane, knocked out Tai Tuivasa, knocked out Derek Lewis, beat Alexander Volkov, turned Francis Ngannou into a wrestler. That's how good of a striker Ciryl Gane is. The man the predator, the hardest hitting heavyweight the UFC has ever seen, the man that hits like a Ford Focus going 150 miles an hour. That wasn't the stats, but I'm just saying that for fun. But whatever the stat was, we know the power. We know the knockout power. We've seen Alistair Overeem get decapitated almost by Francis Ngannou. We have seen the devastation that he possesses, the power in those hands, left and right. What he did to Cain Velasquez, just a glancing shot, sat him down. I mean, that's what he does. Against Ciryl Gane, he turned into a wrestler. Now, was that because Francis Ngannou had bad knees? No, because the knees will be under way more stress if you're trying to wrestle somebody. Trust me. If you don't know mixed martial arts, if you've never wrestled, then you don't know what you're talking about. The knees are under way more stress if you're trying to wrestle someone as opposed to standing there and landing punches. Anyway, that's another discussion. So I think he's underestimating Ciryl Gane, and I understand why. But then, talking of Francis Ngannou, well, first of all, here's another tweet 21 hours ago, probably a minute later. He says, Gane's last 3 opponents had terrible defense. Those guys couldn't stop a kick if their life depended on it. He's fought flat-footed boxers his last 3 fights. And his last 3 fights, as I said, Tai Tuivasa, Francis Ngannou, and Derek Lewis. Hey, fair enough. They are flat-footed boxers. They're not kickboxers. They don't float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. They don't try and hit you in the face with the knee. No, they don't. They are flat-footed boxers. But geez Louise, they're bloody good at it. And in fact, Tai Tuivasa will throw a flying knee here and there, and he'll do a shoey here and there.
They want the shoey.
Now, we all love Tai. But Tai Tuivasa is devastating. He's dangerous. Francis Ngannou, don't even need to say. We know he's dangerous. And Derek Lewis, come on, he's got the most knockouts in the history of the UFC. So again, diminishing the attributes, the qualities, the opponents that Ciryl Gane's faced, because again, he can't put him on a pedestal, And then the final tweet was this one. He said, the best wrestler that Ciryl Gane ever fought was Francis Ngannou. That is wild, okay? And when you look at his record, he's accurate. Jon Jones is telling the truth. Tai Tuivasa is not a wrestler. Francis Ngannou out-wrestled him, not a wrestler. Heavyweight knockout artist. Derek Lewis, knockout guy. Alexander Volkov, kickboxer. Junior Dos Santos, great striker, heavy hands. Jorginho Rosenstruik, heavy hands, kickboxer. Hasn't fought any wrestlers. And that is the key thing coming into this fight. And that is essentially the fight. And you see it there from those tweets from Jon Jones. He's smart. Jon Jones has got the bloody fight IQ. Okay, he's got one of the highest fight IQs that we've seen in all of mixed martial arts. That is why he is essentially undefeated and ran roughshod throughout the light heavyweight division for many, many years. Okay, the man's smart. He knows what he's got to do. The question is, can he take him down? Well, if Francis Ngannou could take Ciryl Gane down, then bet your bottom dollar that Jon Jones can. Jon Jones is able to take everybody down. Took Daniel Cormier down, one of the best wrestlers the UFC's ever seen. Chael Sonnen, okay, a middleweight by trade, but still, poof, blasted through to him, smashed the life out of him. That's what Jon Jones did in his early days. Took people down and beat the absolute living crap out of them. So, he says that Ciryl Gane, the best wrestler that he ever fought, was Francis Ngannou. Yeah, you're right. He said the last 3 people that he fought were flat-footed boxers. And he's accurate. He's accurate. But is he underestimating him? Maybe. You know, because, you know, when you look at it on paper, Jon Jones has fought way better competition. He's fought every style there is. He's fought jiu-jitsu guys. He's fought wrestlers. He's fought strikers like Thiago Santos. Jiu-jitsu guys, Glover Teixeira guys, Rampage Jackson, knockout guys. He's fought them all and he's prevailed each and every single time. So he's right to be confident. But as I said about the fight IQ of Jon Jones, right, he ain't going to play danger. He ain't going to play with fire. He's going to go out there and he's going to fight to the best of his ability. He's going to try and take the fight down. And if he gets it down, then he's in trouble. But if he can't get it down, then we have a real fight on our hands. Okay, now this week, obviously in Las Vegas, is the return of Jon Jones. It's been 3 years. It's a long time. Will there be ring rust? Has he lost the fire? Has he got the fear? Remember those last 3 fights he had at light heavyweight division? Thiago Santos, Dominic Reyes, Anthony Smith. No disrespect to either of those guys, but to quote Jon Jones, he said, I had lost the fear. I didn't have any fear in those fights. So therefore, it affected my performances. And a lot of people point at those last 3 performances as being lackluster. But if he had lost the fear, if he had no fear, he had no adrenaline, no edge, nothing to give him that lightning quick reaction, to give him that nastiness, to want to take someone out and really hurt them, because that's what the fear does. Keeps you on edge, my friend. It keeps you on your toes. Well, if he didn't have the edge, maybe that explains it. But is he underestimating Ciryl Gane? That is the question that I put to you. Let me know in the comments. It's going to be really interesting to see them at the weigh-ins this week. Okay, I'm going to be in Vegas all week long. I'm working with BT Sport. I'm excited. I'll be at the weigh-ins. I'm going to be at the press conferences. I'm going to do coverage all week long. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel. But I ask you, is Jon Jones underestimating Ciryl Gane? Because if he is, we might just see a massive upset on our hands. Anyway, there it is. Let me know in the comments. Hope you do well. Subscribe, ring the bell. See you soon.